Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in today's we're going to be talking about my favorite building piece, and that is the cone. And we're going to go over a bunch of different uses for it and why it is probably the most important thing to know how to use. So yeah. So first off, we're going to talk about how to use a cone in a defensive way. The most used is just by placing a simple floor and a cone on top. This is great for when you're turtling up, as it helps protect the bullets from getting sprayed through, which I was talking about in my last video. But this is also great in a little bit of a different variant. If you're ramping towards somebody who's up on a higher ground than you, what you can do actually is place a cone and then edit right through it. And so every time you're ramping up, you have the cone above you to protect you from being sprayed for a minute, and then as soon as you're through, you're right back onto another ramp with a cone above you. And this will help you from getting lasered with an AR, which I see happen a lot when you're ramping up to somebody, and it's also just a great way to protect yourselves. So another great use for the cone defensively is if you and your opponent's ramp meet the same height, what you can do is after placing these two, you can place two cones here, and what this does is this blocks your opponent from either ramping over you, from coning you, and this allows you a few different options on how you want to get out of this position. You can either edit straight through and keep going, and this is kind of a guaranteed high ground unless this person kind of reacts fast enough. But you also have something like this where you can jump off the side and you can gain high ground like that. But this is just a great way to kind of prevent yourself from getting coned as well. And it just all around gives you a lot of options and can leave you unpredictable in the eyes of your opponent. So another great defensive use for the cone is, say you have somebody above you and you're turtled in down here. When you ramp out, to stop your top ramp from getting shot out, you can cone here, and it'll actually stop this guy up here from being able to spray your top ramp out. Because I'm sure a lot of you have had it happen where they're spraying down on you, they break this ramp, and then all of a sudden you're exposed and they just laser you with an AR. So it's a great way, and even if you can't get the second ramp off when you're going, you can at least get this first one off, because by the time you get high enough, they might not be able to shoot this out before you start to turn and contest their high ground. So now let's get into some of the offensive uses of the cone. One of my favorite being the cone trap kill. And what's important about this is that after you've placed down your traps, to pull out your wall and just kind of make sure to track where they are in the 1x1 and hold that wall down just in case they do try to escape. And as well, if your trap does go off and say they're all the way over here and then this trap hits them, sometimes they'll be able to survive and break out. So what I like to do is either, if you have the ramp edit, or break the ramp and then finish them with the shotgun, just so you know that you're for sure going to get the kill. Alright, so say you're ramping up to somebody who's kind of building up themselves, and you're building up and you get to this point and they're kind of right next to you, they built up as well. What you can do is, while they're building, even if you're down here, you can throw a cone on top of their builds, and this either gives you two options. And the first one is you can then build for high ground, or you also have their roof added on them. So what you can do, hop in and take them by surprise. So now we're going to talk about a few different uses the cone has outside of build fights. And what I like to use it for the most is, since a patch a while ago, Epic decided to make the edits grayed out instead of clear. But with the cone, you can see right out of it. If you grab all these edits, it clears it up a little bit. And you just kind of got to maneuver yourself around. It's super easy too. And it's just a really great tool to use, especially if you're built up in a 1x1 on high ground, or even if you are low, say in a situation like this, you have a 360 view of everything around you, right? And nobody can see you. But there are some downfalls to doing it out in the open like this. is you have nothing to protect you around you, and if you get sprayed out, you kind of got to react fast, but you should see it coming. So yeah, it's a great tool to use while trying to peek but stay hidden. So another way that I use the cone in game is for popping heals, and you're not always going to find an area where you can walk into it, crouch, and immediately place it above you. So a great thing you'll have to get used to is kind of placing a floor and crouching into it so you can easily pop a shield or a med kit, for example. And yeah, it's super easy and it saves a lot of mats compared to, building a one by one completely. This offers more protection, so this is great for certain situations, but if you know nobody's around you, then it's also really great to use the pyramid because it just saves you a ton of mats. So that's the end of the video there, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate all the support on the last video. Super great to see comments like that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment again. Tell me what you guys liked, what you didn't like. Any suggestions for future videos, I'm always open to. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thank you.